Hey Hoopers, it's Deanne Love here, and I'm back with a new series called Breaking Down the Breaks. Now, I can't take any credit for these phenomenal moves and pathways to spiritual ascension because all of this that I learned about breaks came directly from Baxter of the Hoop Path. Baxter has been teaching breaks, on-body, off-body breaks, and so many other ways to express yourself with the hoop since 2005 and toured for 10 years. All of the things that I speak about or connect to in this series and these videos, I'm going to put extra links down below. So just always check back there for all of the extra inspo. But essentially, this series is going to be an interactive one. So you're going to go and grab your hoop, whatever size you like. I'll leave down there what size I'm going to be using. This is a polypro hoop. And when you grab your hoop, you're going to come back. We're going to break down upper body breaks to begin with. This series will look at a whole bunch of different breaks, but essentially, while you're grabbing your hoops, a break is when we stop the motion, the flow, the current, the direction of our hoop, and we send it in the opposite direction. So we reverse it. There are also paddles. There's a whole bunch of really cool stuff that has come out of the Hoop Path, again Baxter, and of Line and Circle, another one. All the inspo down below. So you've got your hoop. Let's do this. I want you to stand inside your hoop, feet rooted, grounded, connected to the floor. This is where the source of your posture, your pace, your inspiration is going to come from. And just land that hoop on the back, fleshy parts, muscly parts of your upper arms. Push your wings, your angel wings into it, and just kind of sit there, feel there with your hands as these plateaus or these platters, these trays. And now what I want you to do is bring the hoop closer to you. Now you're using the fleshy parts of your arms, your hands to bring your hoop to heart center. Just going to play around here, just here. And if you are feeling a little bit tense, a little bit serious, get loose and wobbly. We're going to look at that intersection between being really fluid, free, loose, and yet structured. So where flow meets structure, this is the perfect place for breaks. Okay, and now what we're going to do, if you're really new, I want you to use your hands as the platters and just send your hoop in one direction and just notice what you do. And then send your hoop in the other direction. Notice what you do. You may be close to a mirror, a reflection. You may have a video camera set up. Of course you do. If you don't, then you can practice all of this in front of a mirror or a camera and just notice. If you're not fully witnessing or aware of what your body's doing right now, it's totally fine. Sending in one direction and then sending in the other. So first of all, what I want you to start to recognize when you send the hoop in one direction is the position of your feet. What do your feet do? So try one direction and then the other. Are they stuck in the mud? Do they pivot and turn with you? Are your heels grounded? Are the balls of your feet grounded? What happens? And now I want you to continue to circle in one direction, catching, and then the other. Don't worry, there's nothing that you can get wrong. We're just warming up to this. Notice the direction of your hips. Do they stay facing me? Very grounded, very rigid, very structured and strong. Or are you circling, spiraling, sensing from one side of the room to the other? Now let's notice where our hands begin and where they end, just in this catching and passing or pushing, circling around the body. So they might begin out in front of your biceps or your shoulders. And when you catch, do they stay out? Do they stay in? What is your natural instinct and response? So feet, hips, belly, hands. And now think about your heart center. When your hoop goes to one direction and then the other, what happens? Does it stay stable? Does it stay aligned and horizontal? Or are you chasing? Are you moving? Are you wobbling? If you're not doing this with me, you need to. Come on. You got to try it. You got to feel it. You got to sense it. Sense what you sense and what you feel. Okay. And now your hands, your heart, and now your breath. As you're moving from one direction to the other, you're stopping the hoop, you're sending it. What happens to your breath? Are you becoming breathless? Or are you finding a natural rhythm? Is it slowing down, soothing, pulsing through your lungs? And now your hoop. Hands, feet, hips, breath, heart center. Where does your hoop go? Is it on this wobbly, wild ride from left to right? Or is it starting to find a pace, a pathway, fairly seamlessly from one side to the other? So all of those things are about becoming embodied into your practice. And yes, these breaks may seem like a trick, but actually they are a full pathway to embodiment, to understanding how you move. And if we break down, and we're not just looking at hand to hand and how we can perfectly get faster and faster or better and better, but if we can break down and truly understand how we move with these beautiful moves, tricks, then we're going to feel more confident, feel more connected, feel more creative. And then we can bring in lots of variations. So now we're going to move away from the catch. And what I want you to do is just see. Now, if your immediate reaction is to say, I can't do that, I don't know how to do that yet, or I did that and it didn't really work out, that's okay. Just witness that. What I'm asking you now to do is to hold the hoop against your wings, and then very gently, we're doing the same thing, but we're just shortening the pathway and the pace. So we're going to go hand to hand breaks. If the hoop drops, come back up. If the hoop pops, come back down. So again, come into this rhythm here, stopping as many times to reposition as you like. And I want you, as you're going hand, heart, hand, notice your feet. Are they bouncing? Are they light? Are they free? Are you super strong and grounded? Are your toes gripping in? The arches of your feet hardening towards the earth. How about your knees? Are they soft? Or are they changing from side to side, shifting, balancing, manipulating your weight? Now let's look at your hips. Are they facing laser pointed towards me? Or are they moving side to side, spine becoming more fluid? Now let's take the energy up to your hands. Are they open, receptive, receiving? Does the hoop feel like it's bouncing, or are you tending to try to catch control? Is there chaos? Or perhaps the more that you do this with me, there is a sense of flow, letting go of control, releasing and moving into this fluid flow of breaking left, right, left, right, left, right. Now let's take a look at your body. Is it trying to control the pathway, or is it creating and opening a pathway? Again, are you receiving the hoop? Notice your breath as you go hand, 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 hand. Again, it does not matter how many times you need to reposition and start again. Is the breath finding a natural path? Is it fluid? Is it rhythmic without force? Can you bring it into a rhythm? And your hoop. Is it finding its way, a position, continuing to move in this hand to hand? Is it moving from the front left side to the right, back and forward, back and forward, back and forward? Staying here in this awareness practice for just a little longer. Noticing the position of your hands, not too wide. And if you do bring them quite close together, as if your pinkies were almost going to touch, what happens? Just noticing. Is there a quickening in the pace of your breath, of your feet, of your hips, Is there less of a movement in your body? What happens if you bring your hands a little further away? Do you notice something activating in the shifting of your hips from side to side? Perhaps the opening of your toes, your heels, the soles of your feet, the energy of your breath. I really encourage you this week to set up a camera or perhaps like the reflection of your shadow, whatever it might be that helps you to come into awareness and witness all of this a little bit better. Because next week we're going to move into a practice where we start to refine some of those things. It will always be your flow. We're going to look at some different break variations and practice together. But for this week, just watching your feet, your knees, your hips, your breath, your heart center, your hands, your hoop, and all of you. Enjoy practicing these breaks, and I'll see you next week. Mwah.